Hi friends, in this video I am going to explain on how to create context variable and how to use them in Talend Open Studio. This will help you to understand on how to create the context variable and how to pass them in Talend Open Studio in different ways. Before starting this session, I would like to introduce myself. My name is Gangadhar, working as Senior Data Engineer in Kpro Solutions Private Limited. Kpro is leading provider in Datalake, cloud implementation, IoT, blockchain, analytics, machine learning, artificial intelligence, deep learning, and mobile application development. So let's start our session. As part of this session, I'm going to explain what is context variable, uses of context variable, creating context variables, ways to pass the context variable, and passing the context variable through metadata, and passing the context through file. What are the context variables? Context variables are variables which can be changed based on the context. That means these variables can be changed based on the environment that job is running or based on the context that our job is running. For example, for development, the DB details are different from the DB details which are there in the QA. Uses of the context variable. By using the context variable, it is easy to deploy the code in different environments, like migrating the code from development to QA without any change by just passing the QA details. And no code change required for different context. For suppose if you want to run the same job in two different contexts, you just have to pass the context variables without changing any code. Context variables can be created in repository level as well as in job level. We'll see how to create the context variable in repository level and how to use them in the job. So I have created the context variable job, and now my requirement is to just to read the data from the MySQL database and then just to display the data in the console, for which I am using the MySQL input component, and I'm just connecting. Now to create the context variable in a repository level, we have to create the context group under the repository under the context group. Here I'm going to create context group. Here MySQL context. Just copy this. This is for description and purpose. Next, what I will do, I will create the context variable host. The value is localhost and db value is text, because this is my db name, and user here root is my user, and password is my password. Click finish. So once you finish the creating the my context variable group, you will be able to see the group under the context. Now if you want to use this group in this particular job, you have to just drag and drop on this job. So this will ask you the what are all the context variable that you want to use in this job. I just select the entire group. That's it. And then once it is done, here in the host value, instead of giving the hardcode value, what I can do, I can pass the context variable. To pass the context variable, I have to click Control space. So you will be able to see the all available context variables. So double click on that. Database. What is database? I will pause the database. Username. I will pause my user. And password also I can pause by just password. Click OK. Now I have to provide my DB table. So I will just create query here, query, and I have the name and city. Okay, right, and save the job and run the job. So this is how we can create the context parameter group under the repository, and that can be used in a job by just dragging and dropping onto the job. Now, how to create the context variables in job level and used in job. Now I'm going to create the job and finish it. Now take the MySQL component. So here, so what I will do here, under the job panel, you can have the context tab. By clicking the context tab, you can create your own parameters. Like here I'm giving host, the value is again localhost, and second one is db. Here I'm giving test. So keep in mind we should give in double quotes. And user is root, and password is so once you created these parameters, you can access those by just clicking control space. So here you can see the variables. Control space db, control space user, and here also I can give control space password. Okay, and then you have to give again the table name. This is table name, and take the T log row to display the result. Come here, Now save the job and run it. So here you will be able to see the result. So this is how we can create the context parameters in job level here, and we can use them in our component. Now next is how to pass the context parameters using file or any DB. We are going to see by using the file. So to load the context parameter values using file, we have to use the component called tContextLoad. tContextLoad. Here we have to connect the tfile component, tfile delimited input. Here we have to pass the file which is having the context, and delimiter is equal. I will show you the file content of. So this is the file content. Host equal to local host, db equal to test, and schema equal to test, and user equal to root, and password equal to password. So this value will be passed to tContextLoad component. So here that's why I used equal, because we are using equal there. If you want to use other than equal like pipe symbol, comma, also you can use that. So for this purpose I am just using the equal, doing main. So once we have to on subjob okay, once the context load is completed, then only this job should run. Otherwise this particular job will not be able to identify the value of actual host. So now to test our job, what I will do, I will remove the values which I already given. So and I'm giving key value here. So in this component we have to give key value, then only it will accept. The column names should be key and value. Save the job. So this is how we can pass the parameters using file. So as part of this session, we covered what are all the context variables, uses of the context variables, creating context variables, and ways to pass the context variables, and passing context variable through metadata, which is nothing but repository, and passing the context through the file. Thanks for watching this video. In next session, I'm going to explain basic components of Talend and Tmap. Please provide your valuable feedback as a comment, and let us know any topic that you want us to make a video, or any issue that you are facing in your project. You may write us on feedback@kpro.co.in. To learn more technologies, you can subscribe our YouTube channels: Blockchain, Cloud, Data Science, ETL, Datalake, DevOps, big data testing, cloud testing. Please follow us on YouTube, Facebook, LinkedIn, and Twitter. Thank you. Let's keep learning.